to the All Things Good channel and to this week's video. I hope you are all doing very well this week, despite the weather. Not going to go on about it. I am just not going to go on about it. Anyway, hope you are doing all right. I've got quite a busy video going on this week for you. The Invisible Chef is back with a little French cuisine, I might hasten to add. And I have found an amazing purchase off Amazon. I think you're going to love it. I've also made another purchase which hasn't gone quite according to plan, but I think I've now resolved the matter, but I can't show you that bit in this week's video. That'll have to be ongoing. Needless to say, the weather has a lot to do with that. It'll make perfect sense as you're watching this week's video. So rather than me waffle on about it, let's get into this week's video and I hope you enjoy it. Good morning. It's Tuesday. It's raining. It's June. What is going on? What is going on with all this rain? I mean, I love my new raincoat, but I didn't expect to wear it quite this often in June. Maybe I jinxed it. Anyway, I'm just off to take my lovely car, talking nice to it, for an MOT. It'll be its first MOT because it's 3 years old now. I haven't had it for 3 years, but it is 3 years old. So it has to have its first MOT, and I'm sure it'll be fine. I hope it'll be fine. And I was hoping this afternoon to paint the decking because the forecast was no rain. But here we have it. And I can't do the decking when it's damp, so it's going to have a day or so to dry out, and then I need a couple of dry days. So that plan for this week might have been a little bit scuppered. Anyway, let's go and check this car. Let's go and check that this car is all well. I'm sure it is. I've recently had 4 new tyres actually, because although I haven't, in fact, I've had this car a year, just had it a year. And I did notice about 5 or 6 weeks ago the tread was almost non-existent on my 2 front tyres, and I knew my MOT was coming up. I thought, well, that won't get through the MOT. So I bit the bullet and I've actually got 4 new tyres on it. So certainly not going to be a problem there. Hopefully it flies through the rest of it. Fingers crossed. Well, I'm pleased to report it passed. Of course she did. My lovely little Minnie. Well done, you. Wouldn't have had I not have had my tyres done. So anyway, it's done. I do feel like it needs a bit of a clean now. I'll tell you one thing that does annoy me though, because when you have your MOT, they have to check all the seat belts and everything. When I got back in the car and drove it away, my little display on the car was showing the seat belts all as red, which means they're not plugged in. And I don't know about you, but whenever, there's only normally me and Mum in this car, so it's normally only the 2 front seats that are used. So I always leave the seat belts locked in, put in. Does that make sense? So that they show green on my display. And because it showed red, I was like, oh, warning. And it triggered my OCD. Is that very, very sad? And if someone else has been in the car and they've got out and then I've driven away and I've got 1 red and 2 green lights, well, that throws me completely. But that's just me. Right, I'm just giving it a little bit of a internal wipe over. It smells quite nice with me. My kitchen surface cleaner from Marks and Spencer's that I use in the car because it smells so nice. So nice. Did I tell you about this a couple of weeks ago? Italian lemon and ginger. Love it. Right, I'm going shopping. Oh dear, we appear to have come to a standstill. Now, someone needs to get organised. I think the Tesco's warehouse truck is in a queue to get into the Tesco's, but I can't quite see, or whether someone's broken down on the island. We could be here sometime. See, if he moved over a bit, this bus could get through.
Hello.
Hello, mother.
Hello, daughter. Child.
Hello.
Hello, child.
Hello, our lovely YouTube followers.
God. Here. I've got to fix my hair.
What are you going to do to it?
Colour it.
You want it a bit darker, do you?
Yes, a little bit dark.
Yes, she says. Well, we've just been to Morrison's and, well, what a big shop that was.
Yes.
We seem to have bought quite a lot.
But we can get everything.
Well, we filled the boot and we've got things in the back seat as well, but, you know. We do like a bit of a shop. There's your job. Pop that away.
That's my job.
That's your job.
My job's done.
What are you being up to, Fancy Nancy?
When or where?
Well, you've now got a lovely front and back garden.
Yes.
With some beautiful flowers in.
Yes.
We just need a bit more beautiful weather, don't we, for
Yes.
you to enjoy the garden.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit not
We
quite
need
there
some
yet.
sunshine, actually.
We certainly do. We're getting little glimpses of it, but it's not very warm, and then it doesn't last very long, and we get lots of showers.
Yeah.
It's not really feeling like it's summer yet. So I do hope it improves. So what we're going to do for your birthday, we're going to have a nice lunch.
We are. We'll probably go out to lunch.
Is there anything you want as a present?
Oh, can I have a little think about it?
You can have a think about
Thank
it,
you.
but you haven't got long.
Okay.
I don't know if you want something to go in your garden,
Yeah, maybe.
or do you want something for you more personally, or something in the house? Well, you'll think of something, I'm sure.
I think I'll just have flowers for the lounge.
Oh, some nice flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, some nice flowers.
Nice, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Well, happily on my return from shopping, my Ronseal decking paint has turned up, and I couldn't resist just getting straight on with it. But rather than starting at the decking, I thought I'd start here on the flower bed wooden border, just to see if I did like the colour, and I think I'm going to. So whilst I love the colour, it's incredibly watery. So I've given it a good mix, given it a good stir, but as I'm applying it, it's just going on like water. So I'm just wondering whether it's going to take 3 or 4 coats, but it doesn't have a very thick consistency. Okay, I'll give it a second coat and see how we go. Right, so 2 coats in, and whilst you can see a difference between the flower bed and the decking, it's very patchy and it's very watery. I think in hindsight what I should have done is given an undercoat first. So I'm glad I started here and not on the decking, because I am going to give the decking an undercoat. This is going to need, I reckon, another 3 or 4. Possibly at least goes, but but I do love the colour. You're not really getting the idea of the colour yet, but it is going to look, I think, nicer than the blue currently got on the decking. But yeah, the decking will have to have an undercoat, I think, first. So anyway, we've made a start. Well, this is definitely my Amazon find of the week. I shall link this 2-in-1 floor scrubbing brush with squeegee down below in the description box for you. £15.99 off Amazon. But I did originally see these advertised on TikTok and Instagram, but when I tried to purchase one off TikTok shop, they were all sold out. Fortunately, Amazon have got them. They are made by Wiston, and well, I've been absolutely blown away by this. I was using my Astonish pet floor cleaner, and I just popped that onto the floor, used the brush to scrub the product in, and then used the squeegee to remove the product and pull away all the dirt. I'm using my ever faithful Amazon dusting slippers, which I've had for years. I'm sure they still do them. I find them absolutely wonderful, but I didn't have to dry up very much at all. Right, are you ready for the colour of this water? I'm going to pour it into my white sink bowl so that I can show you. You wait till you see this. Turn you around. Can you see through the bubbles the colour of that water? And I have been mopping my floors every other day downstairs, and look at the dirt that has come up by giving it a little brush and a squeegee. I can't believe how dirty that water is. That's phenomenal. I can honestly say, I'm going to have to clean my bowl out now. I can honestly say my floors have never looked so clean. It didn't take any longer than mopping it would normally take. And actually it's dry quicker because the squeegee dries it a bit as well. Plus my ever faithful Amazon dusting slippers. Brilliant. I've had them ages, but you can probably still get them. And I am super impressed with that. I love it. I love it. Ooh la la, the invisible chef has gone all French on me this week with a beautiful meal, chicken provençal with shallots and garlic, and also funeral potatoes. I'd never heard of them before. So starting with the potato dish, I will list all the ingredients and the method down below for you in the description box, but you start by melting some butter in a large pan over a medium heat. Sauté some onions until translucent, sprinkle with flour and cook for a minute. Whisk in milk and chicken stock, bring to the boil and let simmer to thicken. Season with as much salt and pepper as you like, and then you need to remove it from the heat before you stir in your cheeses and sour cream. Now you can use any cheeses of your choice. This recipe actually asks for cheddar and Monterey Jack. We couldn't actually get any Monterey Jack. And so here are our alternative cheeses, but as I say, you can use pretty much any cheese of your choice. In a separate large bowl or pan, you need to combine some hash browns, and we used hash browns and some waffles mixed together with your sauce. And then once that's all mixed together, you want to transfer that into a buttered casserole dish. In another bowl, you want to combine cornflakes, and we actually put them in a sealed bag to begin with to crush them all up small. You combine these with some butter, give it a little stir, and then you cover your potato dish with the cornflakes and bake for about 45 minutes until bubbly, and when it's done you can top with chives. The chicken provençal with shallots and garlic is one of the best French chicken recipes I think you can find. The chicken is first coated with flour, then seared to golden brown, and finally pan roasted to perfection with shallots, garlic, red wine, and plenty of herbes de Provence. So here we are having our moment on the bed, and it's quite late actually, so I'm rocking the almost no makeup look because I'm almost ready to take the remnants of my makeup off for the evening before I get into bed. So how has your week been? What have you been doing? I'll be very, very intrigued to know. I'm actually filming this moment on the bed on Thursday evening. You won't be seeing this till Sunday. And I normally film moment on the bed on a Friday night, sometimes maybe a Saturday night if I've got time on a Saturday night to then edit the video ready for Sunday morning. So I'm a little bit premature, and that is because tomorrow I am going to the hospital to have MRI scans on my back, my right hip and my right leg. So I'm still getting lots of issues. Things have improved a little bit, but it's still very much there. very tiring, it's very painful. So it's a good thing that these scans are going to be done, because I need an up-to-date position on what my back is doing. And for those of you that don't know me or don't know my history, I'll try and cut it short. I had a dancing accident when I was 15, which led me to have some very bad lower back issues. By the time I got into my late 30s, it was debatable whether I was going to have spinal surgery or not. We sort of toyed around with that idea, but I was always warned that it's a very invasive surgery with only a 50% success rate. So for one reason or another, it was put off, but I was monitored quite carefully. Every couple or 3 years, I'd go to the hospital, or, you know, what have you. And then I'd have bouts of time where it wasn't very painful. Then I'd have bouts of time where it became very severe again. And to cut a long story short, I was just about to have fusion surgery, which is where the discs at the bottom of my back, at the lowest part of my back, the disc was disintegrating. And what fusion surgery does is fuses those two bones together so there isn't a disc, because when there isn't a disc, or a herniated disc, that's where you get all the backache. But my last lot of scans that I had, which was about 3 or 4 years ago, which is when we were just thinking about going for surgery because the back pain was severe at that point, when they did the scans, my two bones had naturally fused together anyway, which is what they would have done in surgery. So the disc had completely disintegrated, and then over time, but whilst I was in a lot of pain, the bone was fusing together. So they said, well, there's no point us doing that because your body's done it naturally. Which led me on to the question is, well, why am I in so much more pain than usual? And the answer was because I'd got severe arthritis in that area. And that's because the accident I had was so long ago, when I was 15, I'm nearly 50, that my back is that of a, 90-year-old, 100-year-old, it's not very good anyway, and has severe arthritis in it. So they put me on a drug, which for the last 3 or so years, maybe more, 3, 4 years, has been excellent. I've had very few, if any, problems up until just recently, where everything seems to have gone a little bit pear-shaped again. So these scans that I'm having tomorrow will hopefully show us what's going on, whether it's a new area of arthritis maybe, whether the nerve is being pinched somewhere else. Don't know what this is going to hold. And I don't think it's going to be related, but the other reason I've been sent for scans is because in 2011 I had quite a deep cancer removed out of my right thigh, and I was given my 10-year all clear in 2020, I think it was 2022 or 23, because I couldn't get my 10-year all clear exactly 10 years after, because we were in the throes of COVID at the time. Anyway, I got my 10-year clear of cancer and was discharged. But because I'm getting so much pain in my right leg, my GP was like, well, as you've had cancer in that leg previously, let's get these scans done as quickly as possible. So fingers crossed it's nothing sinister like that. And I don't think it is. I'm sure all this is a problem in my back. It's coming from my back. And tomorrow is the day that I'm going to be going to the hospital. So I've got half a day at work and then probably half another day at the hospital. I thought by the time I get back, it's going to be the evening and I'll probably want to chill out and have some food. And I thought, oh, where am I going to fit in filming Moment on the Bed? So prematurely filming this Thursday evening. Thank you to you all for your lovely comments last week when I told you my news that Paul and I are going to be living together very, very soon. And everybody sent lovely warm messages of congratulations and all the rest of it, which has really been lovely. And we've thoroughly enjoyed reading all your messages. It's been great. Still a lot going on in the background, lots of practicalities, organising. He's having to do a massive declutter at his house and sort out a lot of things that he doesn't want to bring here because they'd be duplicates. There's no need for him to bring them here. And because, you know, he's very aware how I've created my space here and how I like my space here. And he doesn't want it to be altered too much or cluttered, because he likes the same kind of space and decor that I like. So Paul's having to do a lot of sorting out and a lot of decluttering his end. I've done a bit of decluttering my end to accommodate him, but there isn't much decluttering I need to do. It's more of a reorganisation in some areas so that we can sort of assess how it's all going to work out. One of the things that we're going to have is a new little wardrobe here in the bedroom, which will actually just be in this corner over here. At the moment I've got like an ottoman with cushions on top of it, and that ottoman is housing spare linen, blankets, towels, things like that. So got to find a new home for that. And then over here, and I'll show you when it's here, we're having a little white wardrobe which will be for him, and we can have some nice perhaps IKEA boxes on the top or something like that. So that's probably the only piece of furniture, well, it is only the only piece of furniture we need to buy, and the rest is accommodating where everything's going to go and what have you. And but it's a happy process, and we are both very happy and content and loving it and quite excited about it. And you know, it's not our first rodeo for either of us, but it feels the right time, it feels the right person, and it is exciting. It is very exciting. And there's still a lot going on elsewhere as well, you know, looking after mom and being busy generally in everything that I do. But Paul's now very involved with that, you know, doing her gardening, and very supportive of my relationship with mum and what has to be done, as well as what I want to do with her. So that's a huge support. You know, it's good teamwork, really good teamwork. So yes, hopefully next week I'll have some more bits and pieces to show you of the process of getting him moved in, as it were. Thanks also to those of you who mentioned Grace and the PCOS diagnosis she has recently had. She is okay. She has taken the news very well, and she's also bought lots of research books, and she's bought a fabulous cookbook to, you know, with recipes specifically designed for people with PCOS and, or, you know, an insulin resistant diet or something like that. It's really interesting, and I'm hoping that the Invisible Chef might actually do a few recipes out of that book to show you very, very soon. So that would be really good. And he also asked me to mention that if there is anything you specifically would like to see him cook or create or include, let us know in the comments down below, because we will do that. And I'm aware we do a lot of meat dishes. Of course, I have a son that's vegetarian, and he's coming back very soon from university, so I'm going to have to do some vegetarian cooking soon. So I'm aware that we haven't shown much vegetarian food, but there's an option to do that soon, because I will be cooking a lot for Adam. And desserts and summery kind of things, although it really does not feel like summer at all, does it? Not even spring. It's so cold tonight. I almost put my heating on for an hour, but it's just ridiculous. We just need some sunshine, don't we? We need a bit of summer. Come on, we need a bit of summer. Yeah, so that's it really for this week. Oh yes, there was one other thing. I was going to show you a bit more of the painting, but I've actually made a mistake. Having shown you the video of my painting attempts in the garden, and I said to you, It's very watery, this paint. When I actually went back and looked properly at the tins that I bought the wrong one. I bought the right colour, but I must have clicked on the wrong thing. So what I actually bought was a garden fence paint when I should have bought a specific decking paint by the same brand, in the same colour, not the same product. So the reason it was watery is because what I was using was designed to go on brand new wood or fencing. If you just had brand new fence panels, for example, that have got no coverage, no colour, no nothing on at all, and the watery effect obviously seeps in to the wood and protects it, as well as give it colour. So the reason why I couldn't understand why I wasn't getting much colour on top of the blue was because it wouldn't do that, because it's designed to go on bare wood fence. So I went back to my order and I had a look and I realised I'd made a little mistake. I have now ordered the same colour in the right paint, which is actually proper decking paint. So I probably won't need an undercoat for the decking. I was hoping that paint would arrive in order for me to add it onto this video to show you the process of going through doing the garden and the decking. It hasn't come in time. So I'm hoping it comes in time for next week's video. Well, it will arrive in time for next week's video, but whether the rain stops long enough for me to have a couple of days of dry weather to do the painting before next week's video is another matter, but we shall see. But if any of you have been watching this and going, Polly, what are you doing with that paint? That's just not the right paint for all that at all. I know, well, I know now, but I thought I'd show you what I'd done anyway. But I know now, but hopefully I will get it right in the next week or two. And as soon as it's done, and obviously the process of doing it, I will show you. And as soon as it's done, I will show you. Anyway, I'm going to go and crash out now and get some sleep before this hospital appointment tomorrow. So until next Sunday, stay safe, stay in the boat and keep doing all things good. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Bye.